Hi and welcome back to another Craig's World. My name's Craig. Welcome to what is my madness. Today we're on a Mercedes Vito. Sorry the sun's in my eyes if I'm squinting. What we are doing today is a bottom boil joint, which is just one of these. Very simple procedure, dead simple. Take the cap off, you can see. And I'll show you what needs replacing. This one is, I call her Bonnie, but you're going to find when she's been in for her plates, which is, she doesn't need an MOT, she needs a plate being a taxi. So I'm going to show you what needs, this is the only thing that needed doing. So I'm going to spin it around and show you. Okay, so we are just behind now. Now, what it is here. So you see the three bolts, well, rivets into this arm. You can replace the full arm, but we've got to undo this to release the hub and push that down. And what we've got to do with these is we are replacing those with, I'm not replacing the full arm. You can replace a full arm between 70 and 100 quid. That's up to you. I'd rather replace the ball joint, which is only 24 quid. And I've just got a couple of bolts to undo, grind them rivets off, knock them through. And then that just gets pushed into the gap and then bolted up. And you can actually buy these. This is a replacement part. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to put some penetrating fluid and I'll get you back when we are undoing them. Okay, so the bit you've just missed is that bolt, as you've seen, went in there. I've just taken that off. And what you have to do now is you have to knock this down. So the procedure is either me axe or one of these and a copper bar. Now, what you're doing is put it onto the little rivets and giving it a hit. He says. So there we go, you can clearly see it now completely off. That was a bit of a nightmare, but now we've got to cut these 3 bolts off. So these can fit and get knocked in there. Might be easier to cut them off from underneath. I'll put these on a time lapse so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm back on the bench, but it didn't work then when I was trying to film that. So as you can see, if I take that off, that's the original one. As you can see, it's proper gone. And this is the arm. Like I said, you've got to take this off to do this. You're never going to do that on the van, because these are what were pressed in. So imagine that's back inside, that gets pressed up inside that, because we grind from the top. Because if you look, there's a little bump there, so you've got to push them down. So I use my big press. You've seen me do that on Mouse or on other vehicles, and it's dead simple. They just push straight out. So that's the old one, out with the old, and in with the new. And it literally is that simple. And with this, when you buy this new, it's not bolts, it's not rivets like these was in, it's bolts. And I would suggest to put the bolts, the nylock bolts underneath, because they've got to go through, so it's not going to catch. So that goes through. There's one, there's two, and there's three. So that's how simple it is to do this. And it's same again, so on the back side it is just a case of putting on the bottom, on all four, and tighten them up. Oops, sorry. With the nuts on the bottom, so it's in on the top. So I'm going to tighten these up, and I will meet you back at the van. Okay, so I'm back at the van, so you can actually see where I took it off there. You can see I've bolted them all nipped up, all torqued up. So we're going to put this back in reverse procedure. So we're going to do the back bushes first. Once that's in, this will get pushed up, and then the bolt will go through, which holds it in place. So I'll put this on a time lapse, and I'll do it when we're putting this back on. Right, okay, I hope you can see that, because that white balance is shit. So I've not tightened them up properly yet. So as you remember, this is the bolt. I've put it in and I've hit underneath. So now the bolt should go straight through, and that's what will lock it in. Once this gets bolted in and up, this is what will lock it in place. A little squirt of WD. Always makes the world go round. So it's 21. There's me 21. Me 21. It's weird to think it's just one bolt that goes through that which holds this. Because it goes up to a stop. And that's it. So that's now tight. I will just nip these two up, but that is all back together now, so hopefully no knocking. So what I'm going to do, I will meet you back on the bench and I'll show you how bad that bottom ball joint was. Okay, so we're back on the bench. Now, this is what I was trying to explain how bad this was. You're not really supposed to wiggle that, and how bad it was underneath. You could see straight in. It's not supposed to do that. That's why I could hear clunking, and that's what that was. And like I said, I love when you're going for plates and stuff like this where you find little defects. And there was only 27 quid. That's all that new part cost. If you're going to do this a lot, I allotted an hour for it, but you have to take the arm off. So it's entirely up to you. If you have to take the arm off, do you want to buy a complete new arm for 90 quid plus? I'll buy that for 20, I think it's 23 or 26 quid. I go for that just because it's just very simple to do. And I hope you enjoyed this one, guys. I hope it helps. And I will see you on the next one. Thank you.